Well, I scheduled it to go live at 9 o'clock, and then it says go live. I press go live, and so it's live now. So I'm just gonna leave it until 9 o'clock. I'm just gonna put you in the room and have you stare at the curtain until I'm done, and then I'll come back in. But yeah, obviously I still haven't figured out this YouTube. Okay, well, let's go. Okay. Mhm. Mhm. Well, I'm back in the room. Mhm. Now you're gonna chill out here till I get back. Okay. I'm gonna go take a shower now. I'll be back. About 20 minutes to take my phone call. We'll put some music on while you're waiting. Let's go. Here, let's go with this.
Rockefeller, all possessed a secret morning ritual that set their minds in motion toward success before their feet even touched the floor.
All
You
right.
wake each morning, don't you, with the same thoughts of worry, the same fears about money, the same doubts about your abilities? You rise from your bed already defeated, your mind poisoned with the limitations of yesterday. This is the poverty of mind that afflicts 98% of all people, and it is the very reason they remain chained to lives of quiet desperation. But today, right now, as you listen to my words, that chain is about to be broken forever. What would you say if I told you that the first 5 minutes after you open your eyes each morning determine whether you will succeed or fail that day? What would you think if I revealed that every great fortune, every remarkable achievement, every breakthrough in human progress began not in an office or a factory, but in the quiet moments of dawn when a determined mind spoke certain words with absolute faith and conviction? The human mind is a transmitting and receiving station. When you speak words with deep emotion and faith, you send a command directly to your subconscious mind. which is connected to infinite intelligence. This is not mere theory. This is scientific fact proven through decades of careful observation. Your subconscious mind does not question or doubt. It simply accepts what you tell it with feeling and begins immediately to manifest it in your physical world. Andrew Carnegie understood this principle. Each morning, before the sun painted the sky, he would stand before his window and speak his intentions for the day with such power that his very presence commanded respect from all who met him. Thomas Edison knew this secret. In the quiet of his laboratory, before beginning his work, he would affirm his connection to the infinite source of all knowledge. Rockefeller, Ford, Schwab, they all began their days not with the newspaper or idle chatter, but with deliberate, purposeful words that programmed their minds for victory. For too long, you have been the victim of your own mental laziness. You have allowed your mind to run wild like an untamed horse, carrying you wherever fear and doubt wish to take you. But the 11 phrases I am about to give you are like a bridle and bit for that wild horse. They will give you mastery over your own mind, and through that mastery, control over your entire life. These are not merely positive thoughts or empty affirmations. These 11 phrases contain the concentrated essence of success philosophy, distilled from the actual practices of men who built empires from nothing, who transformed entire industries, who left their mark on history. Each phrase is a key that unlocks a different door in your subconscious mind. Together, they form a master key that opens the vault of unlimited achievement. The transformation that awaits you requires only 2 things. First, that you speak these phrases every single morning without fail, and second, that you speak them with absolute faith and burning emotion. The words without the feeling are dead. But when you combine these words with the fire of belief, you set in motion forces that will reshape your entire existence. Prepare yourself, for you are about to learn the morning ritual that separates the masters of life from its victims. I am the master of my fate. Let these 6 words burn themselves into your consciousness, for they contain the power to lift you from the depths of despair to the heights of achievement. I once knew a man who had lost everything: his business, his savings, his confidence. He sat in my office with tears in his eyes, convinced that external forces had conspired to destroy him. I gave him only these 6 words and told him to repeat them every morning with the force of his entire being. 6 months later, he returned to thank me, for he had not only recovered his losses, but had built a fortune twice as large as before. You see, most people believe they are leaves blown about by the wind of circumstance. They blame the government, the economy, their education, their family, everything and everyone except the one person who holds all the power, themselves. But I tell you now, based on my study of the most successful minds in history, that you are not the victim of fate, you are its author. Every circumstance in your life today is the direct result of the thoughts you held in your mind yesterday. When William Ernest Henley wrote, "I am the master of my fate, I am the captain of my soul," he was not penning pretty poetry. He was stating a law as immutable as the law of gravity. Your thoughts create your circumstances. Your dominant mental attitude determines whether you attract success or failure, wealth or poverty, happiness or misery. This is not wishful thinking. This is the operation of universal law that works with mathematical precision. Consider Charles M. Schwab. He began as a day laborer in Andrew Carnegie's steel mills, earning $1 a day. But Schwab understood that he was the master of his fate. Each morning before reporting to work, he would stand before his modest mirror and declare with unshakable conviction that he would one day run those very mills. He did not hope, he did not wish, he commanded his subconscious mind to accept this as reality. The result? He became president of the United States Steel Corporation and earned a salary of over $1 million a year, at a time when such a sum was almost unimaginable. Henry Ford faced ridicule and mockery when he announced his intention to build a motor car for the masses. Learned men explained in detail why it was impossible. Financial experts proved with figures that he would bankrupt himself. But Ford knew a secret they did not. He was the master of his fate. Each morning he renewed his mental declaration of sovereignty over circumstances. When setbacks came, and they came by the dozens, he reminded himself that fate was not something that happened to him, but something he created with each thought, each decision, each action. Your subconscious mind is like fertile soil. It will grow whatever seeds you plant in it. When you declare, "I am the master of my fate," you plant seeds of personal power, self-determination, and unlimited possibility. But this must be done with feeling. Stand before your mirror each morning, look yourself directly in the eyes, and speak these words as if your very life depended on them, because it does. Feel the power surge through you. Feel the chains of victimhood falling away. Feel yourself taking command of your own destiny. The law of attraction operates through the subconscious mind. When you truly believe you are the master of your fate, your subconscious mind begins to attract the people, circumstances, and opportunities that align with this belief. You stop repelling success with thoughts of limitation and begin magnetically drawing it to you with thoughts of power and possibility. This is not mysticism. This is the practical application of mental law that has been proven in the laboratories of life by every person who has ever risen from obscurity to greatness. My definite chief aim guides my every action. These 8 words constitute the starting point of all achievement. Without a definite chief aim, you are like a ship without a rudder, drifting wherever the currents of life choose to take you. But with a definite purpose fixed firmly in your mind, you become like a guided missile, moving with unstoppable force toward your target. I spent years in poverty and frustration before Andrew Carnegie revealed to me the supreme importance of definiteness of purpose. He told me that 98 out of every 100 people fail in life because they never decide exactly what they want. They have wishes, hopes, and dreams, but no definite chief aim. They scatter their energies in a dozen different directions and wonder why they never seem to get anywhere. Edwin C. Barnes was a nobody from nowhere when he decided his definite chief aim was to become the business partner of Thomas Edison. He had no money, no connections, no special talents. But he had something far more valuable, a burning desire backed by definiteness of purpose. Each morning, before the world awoke, Barnes would stand in his shabby room and declare his intention to work with Edison. He did not say he hoped to work for Edison. He declared he would be Edison's partner. When Barnes finally made his way to Edison's office, he arrived looking like a tramp. But Edison, who could read men's minds through their eyes, saw something different. He saw the fire of definite purpose burning so brightly that it could not be extinguished. Years later, after Barnes had become wealthy as Edison's partner in the dictating machine business, Edison said, "I gave him the opportunity he sought because I saw he had made up his mind to stand by until he succeeded." Your definite chief aim is not a wish or a hope. It is a command to your subconscious mind. When you state it each morning with absolute conviction, you activate forces within yourself that begin immediately to transform that aim into physical reality. John D. Rockefeller knew at age 23 that his definite chief aim was to become the world's greatest oil refiner. He spoke it, he breathed it, he lived it. Every decision, every action was guided by this central purpose. The result was Standard Oil and a fortune that staggered the imagination. The principle of concentration of effort demands that you focus all your energies on your definite chief aim. Scattered thinking leads to scattered results. But concentrated thinking, guided by a definite purpose, produces concentrated power. Your subconscious mind works 24 hours a day to manifest what you have clearly defined and emotionally charged. It never sleeps, never rests, never stops working on your behalf, but only if you give it a clear target. Each morning, as you speak this phrase, see your definite chief aim as already accomplished. Feel the joy of achievement. Experience the satisfaction of success. Your subconscious mind cannot tell the difference between a vividly imagined experience and reality. When you consistently visualize your goal as achieved while declaring your definite purpose, you create a mental pattern that your subconscious mind must follow. This is the secret of all great achievement, knowing exactly what you want and maintaining that vision with unwavering faith until it materializes in your life. I possess within me all the power I need. Stop for a moment and consider the profound truth of these words. You have been taught to believe in limitation, to accept that you need something outside yourself to succeed. But I tell you now, based on irrefutable evidence, that you already possess within your own mind all the power necessary to achieve anything you can conceive and believe. Thomas Edison had only 3 months of formal schooling. By every external measure, he should have remained an unknown failure. But Edison understood a secret that his educated critics did not. He possessed within himself access to infinite intelligence. When faced with a problem, he would retire to his private room, sit in complete darkness and silence, and affirm his connection to the source of all knowledge. In this state, ideas would flash into his mind, solutions would appear, inventions would reveal themselves. More than 1,000 patents stand as monuments to his faith in the power within. The average person uses less than 10% of their mental capacity. Think about that. You are operating at 1/10 of your potential, and yet you wonder why success eludes you. But the power is there, waiting to be accessed, waiting to be commanded, waiting to be released. George Washington Carver demonstrated this truth in a manner that cannot be disputed. Born into slavery, without formal education, he became one of the greatest scientists of his age. When asked how he discovered over 300 uses for the peanut, he replied simply, "I went into my laboratory and said, 'Dear Creator, please tell me what the peanut is for.' Then I waited for the answer." Your subconscious mind is connected directly to infinite intelligence, the source of all knowledge, all power, all solutions. But doubt acts as a barrier, blocking this connection. When you affirm each morning that you possess within you all the power you need, you remove this barrier. You open the channel through which unlimited wisdom and ability can flow. This is not theory, this is demonstrated fact, proven by every great achiever in history. Self-doubt is the great crippler of human potential. You have been programmed since childhood to believe in your limitations rather than your possibilities. You have been told what you cannot do so often that you have forgotten what you can do. But Carnegie was right when he said that no man is limited except by his own thoughts. The walls that seem to imprison you are made of nothing more substantial than your own beliefs. When you change those beliefs, the walls disappear. Each morning, as you speak this affirmation, feel the surge of unlimited power flowing through you. You are not separate from the creative force of the universe. You are an expression of it. The same power that moves the planets, that causes the seed to become the tree, that transforms the caterpillar into the butterfly, flows through your mind. Your only task is to recognize it, accept it, and direct it toward your definite chief aim. When you do this with faith and persistence, miracles become commonplace, the impossible becomes inevitable, and you discover that you have always possessed the power to transform your life. Today I will go the extra mile in all I do. This principle has created more millionaires than any other single factor. It is so simple that most people overlook it, so powerful that those who apply it cannot fail. Yet the majority of people do only what they are paid to do, only what is required, only what they must. And then they wonder why opportunity passes them by. Charles M. Schwab was once asked by Andrew Carnegie to manage a steel mill that was losing money. The other managers had failed to turn it around despite their best efforts. Schwab took the job with one condition: that he be allowed to manage it his way. His way was the principle of going the extra mile. He worked not 8 hours, but 12. not because he was paid for the extra time, but because he was determined to render more service than required. He insisted that every employee under him adopt the same principle. Within 1 year, that failing mill became the most profitable in the entire Carnegie system. Schwab's reward? A bonus of $1 million for a single year's work. In an era when $1,000 was a fortune. The law of increasing returns governs all of nature and all of human activity. When you give more than is expected, you receive back more than you gave. This is not sentiment. This is mathematical law. The farmer who tends his crops with extra care receives an extra abundant harvest. The merchant who provides extra service builds a loyal customer base. The employee who does more than required inevitably rises to positions of greater responsibility and reward. Most people approach their work with the attitude of, how little can I do and still get by? They watch the clock, resent extra assignments, and complain about their pay. These are the people who remain at the bottom all their lives, bitter and resentful, never understanding that they are the authors of their own poverty. They violate the basic law of success and then blame everyone but themselves for their failure. Going the extra mile is not about working yourself to exhaustion. It is about bringing quality, enthusiasm, and excellence to everything you do. It is about looking for ways to increase your service, improve your skill, and add value wherever you are. When you adopt this principle, you stand out from the mediocre masses like a beacon in the darkness. Opportunities seek you out. Promotion becomes inevitable. Success becomes not a matter of if, but when. Andrew Carnegie built his entire fortune on this principle. He promoted only those who demonstrated the habit of going the extra mile. He paid them not for what they did, but for their willingness to do more than they were paid for. Every person in his organization who rose to wealth and prominence did so by rendering extra service. This was not favoritism. This was the recognition of an immutable law of success. Each morning, when you declare your intention to go the extra mile, you program your mind to look for opportunities to exceed expectations. Your subconscious mind begins to generate ideas for improving your service. You develop the reputation of being someone who can be counted on to deliver more than promised. This reputation becomes your most valuable asset, worth more than money in the bank because it guarantees that you will never lack for opportunities to prosper. I attract wealth through service to others.
All right, thank you. Bye. Hey guys, I'm jumping on live with one of the founders of a company. We're gonna have a meeting with this guy. His name is Ashton, Justin and Ashton, I guess. I don't see it. Hello, hello, hello.